Yo, what's up, guys? We're back for another video. A video that we find a bit funny, to be honest, to say the least. And I'm back with Charlie again.
Again.
And it's a video that I don't think anybody in their right minds would have expected us to make. But it's about Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. And to quote Sam Allardyce, who came out last week, not last week, a couple of days ago even, and said, Arsenal Football Club are relegation candidates alongside West Bromwich Albion. It was quite a funny interview to watch, and the title of the video it's amusing. Could Arsenal really get relegated? Well, I mean,
Strange to think about.
you would have never. It's just it boggles my mind. But without further ado, let's get started. So I'm going to be talking a bit about their optimistic start under Mikel Arteta. And so their first win for Mikel Arteta came against Manchester United, a team who Arteta would have been very motivated to beat, considering he was the assistant manager at Manchester City. So it was a very important win for Arsenal, and they beat Man United convincingly 2-0. Luckily for them, Bruno Fernandes had not yet arrived, because I think if he was there, they would have won. Man United would have won, but they beat United with ease. And from there, it was a bit rocky. There were draws against teams like Burnley, but there were also wins against teams like West Ham, uh, and it was rocky. But then Corona happened, and the league got shut down. And after restart, the worst possible start happened for them. They lost 3-0 to Manchester City. But I don't think the scoreline was what bothered Arsenal fans. I think the way they lost, David Luiz played dreadfully, who we will come back to actually in a bit, because he was the reason they won the FA Cup, in my opinion. Uh, and then after that, just to rub salt in the wounds, they lost to Brighton, 2 goals to 1. And there's three things that bothered me, well, would have bothered Brighton fans about, would have bothered Arsenal fans even about that game. First of all, Neil Maupay scored, injured Bernd Leno, and he scored in the way he scored. It was a 95th minute winner from Maupay, if I'm not wrong. And after that, he had the guts to come out, and credit to him, I guess. He had the guts to come out and say, Arsenal players, and I quote, need to learn humility and respect. And it was quite funny to see. But after that, they picked up a bit. But their league form was still relatively rubbish. But their cup form was what encouraged people a lot. And prior to the FA Cup semi-final, which they eventually won the FA Cup in the end, prior to the 4 days before the FA Cup semi-final, they played Liverpool, a Liverpool side who the league was wrapped up, so didn't have that much motivation. But I think a Liverpool side who wanted to beat Manchester City's points record. But Arsenal won. Arsenal Football Club beat Liverpool. Just imagine. Then, 4 days later, they beat Manchester City. Just 2-0, by the way. It was a deserved win. They nullified Pep's attack midfield, and they exposed that defense. And people were calling Arteta a visionary. And to be honest, even I was getting, like, I'm not an Arsenal fan, but it was, and I am a Man City fan, so of course the defeat pissed me off. But it was very easy to see that Arteta could be building something. And it didn't help his hype train. It increased his hype when they, 3 weeks later, 2 to 3 weeks later, they went to Chelsea in the FA Cup final, and they beat Chelsea in Wembley, 2 goals to 1, winning Arteta his first trophy in his 6 months of being a manager. His first trophy. Just imagine, and just remember, 3 months of those were in lockdown. So really, he only had 3 to 4 months, and he already won a trophy. People called him a visionary. The next Pep, better than Pep. I mean, he already beat Pep, and then after that, 3 to 4 weeks later, they beat Liverpool in the Community Shield. Imagine if you told an Arsenal fan they would beat Liverpool 3 times in 1 year, albeit 2 in cup competitions and 1 in league. But I don't think anyone would have believed that. But then the optimism was followed by a really bad start to the season. And Charlie's going to talk more about that.
So, Arsenal actually had a decent start to the season, beating Fulham 3-0. Obviously, everyone thought Willian at Arsenal was going to turn into Garincha. but because he got like 3 assists in his first game, I think it was. Then they beat West Ham, but then they played Liverpool, obviously beating them three times last season. They lost 3-1, which was a disappointing result. Like obviously it's the champions at Anfield. It's very hard to win there. No one's done it in 46 games. I'm pretty sure. Then they played Sheffield United, which they won. But the game against Leicester was the start of their downfall when they lost 1-0. Like from that, I think they just lost confidence. They did then beat Man United, but that was obviously a bit lucky. But then 3-0 Aston Villa.
Of course,
That's when it properly started to go very downhill for Arsenal. They drew to Leeds, which Leeds at home is quite a tough team to beat actually. But Arsenal obviously got a red card. Pepe decided to headbutt someone. I don't know why. It's a stupid decision. Then they lost to Wolves 2-1. And Wolves, they haven't played the best this season. They probably should have won that game. But then this is probably where they started to think something needs to change, because they lost 2-0 to Tottenham. But Tottenham are a good side, but obviously it's the North London derby where they want to win, like as much as possible. They need to win. That was the game. If they had won that, it would have been different. Everything, because winning the derby gives you so much confidence. They also lost to Burnley, which I don't even know. They also got a red card in that, which is not very good.
And then again, another red card in their next game.
Yeah. And then against Southampton, they drew 1-1. Another red card. 3 in the Premier League. Gabriel being sent off. Apparently he was meant to be good. It's not very good. Then they lost to Everton the other day, which was disappointing. They conceded to a Yaramina header, which has happened before to England. So I mean, he's 6'5". He's gonna score every header he gets. And then they lost 4-1 to Man City the other night, which was that was a bad defeat. They didn't play well. Man City outclassed them.
Yeah, it was, and I would worry for Arsenal, because Man City needed a win. Manchester City needed a win like this, and Arsenal effectively gave it to them on a silver platter. They literally handed them the win, and Man City needed a confidence booster, and now they got it, and they played such good football. And Arsenal, I mean, to be honest, I was laughing because it is funny. It's sad and it is funny though, from a neutral's point of view, to watch a club like Arsenal be in the position that they are. It's funny, and I mean, I guess I expected more from Arsenal, but I mean, it's Arsenal, you know. But now let's go into our verdict. Now both of us are gonna say whether we would keep Arteta or sack him. I'll go first, and we'll explain why. For me, I would say sack him. Now, I think the decision to bring him in, and while I've said that he's a good manager, I think the decision to bring in a guy who has literally just sat next to Pep for 3 years is ludicrous. When Maximiliano Allegri does not have a job, when Mauricio Pochettino, albeit a Spurs manager, does not have a job, you don't look for them. That's retarded. And people are gonna say loyalty. There is no loyalty. Jose Mourinho managed Chelsea, and at the time he said that he would never manage Spurs. Look at him now. There is no loyalty anymore in football. There literally does not exist loyalty. So there was no problem in calling Pochettino, and I think it was ludicrous to hire him. And Arsenal Football Club, AFC, could genuinely get relegated, and I'd laugh.
Yeah, it is a possibility that it could get relegated. So I think they should sack Arteta. There's quite a few options as manager, available to them, such as Leipzig's manager's Julian Nagelsmann. He's a very good manager, proven himself in the Champions League last season. And Pochettino, which he did manage Spurs, but Spurs kind of betrayed him. He got to the Champions League final with spending no money, and then they sacked him, which I think is dumb. But Arsenal could have got him as manager, and everything could have been different. I reckon they could get top 4 with, because on paper they have a really good team, but they just need